Broadcasting live from the Panopticon on the plane of Mirrodin, this is Tap Tap Concede. Hello, everybody.
The Panopticon is so annoying.
Oh man, everyone draws so many cards. Gesundheit.
That's what I think of the Panopticon.
You're allergic to card advantage?
I'm allergic to giving other people card advantage.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Tap Tap is back. We took a week off.
I don't think you need to keep doing that.
I don't think I should have.
Echo.
Stop that.
My name's Graham, and here also is...
I'm Paul.
I'm James.
I'm Kathleen.
Was that...
That seemed very...
There's
Is
like
that
a
like a-
Mexican
I feel
like-
standoff
is that
for
like
who's
an...
going to talk
Yeah,
last.
is there like an arms race to see who's going to speak last?
No, it's like a trust game. I don't want to talk over anybody.
Or we could just like define an order that we're going to go in.
I'll just
Go
point...
like clockwise.
I'll just point to people next time.
That sounds like probably a better
You
plan.
should probably do that.
Yeah. And yes, it's time again to talk about all things magic that interest us. It is June 7th today, day after my birthday. But
Happy
also,
birthday, Graham.
thank you.
Wizards had such a great present for you.
Yes, they were like, well, we can't release it on your birthday, but the next day, the day after your birthday, we're going to release Modern Masters. And so we have a pack of Modern Masters here to do for our Crack-A-Pack. Usually we do, the old weird packs, but I guarantee you there's
There's
I
old
guarantee
weird cards.
you there's old weird cards in this
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
So thought we'd crack this bad boy open.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Modern Masters, if you haven't seen it, our latest episode of Friday Nights features
Yes.
Modern Masters, and it's very funny.
What are these retailing for?
About
At
$10.
At our local store, they retail for $9.95.
All right, well there you go.
All right, first card.
Our
Does
first
that make
card
that this the second most expensive pack we've cracked?
Possibly.
behind the revised.
Behind the
no, because
stupid ass revised pack. Yeah.
Alliances is like
Oh yeah, that
12
Alliances pack was like $12. Yeah.
$12. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the first card is Brute Force, which is Giant Growth, except it's red.
Ooh.
This was originally a plane shifted card.
Yep.
Planar Chaos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it was the plane shifted thing. In fact, if you
I like the border on if you
yeah,
go to
if you bring up the original art, they did these weird borders on the original cards to indicate that they were plane shifted. And so this, like, what that means is that they took cards that were sort of quintessential to a given color and put it in a color that doesn't have it. So this was exactly just Giant Growth in red,
Yeah.
which is not an effect red typically has access to. Usually when red gets combat tricks like that, it buffs power and not toughness, and maybe gives first strike, but it's not just like make it bigger.
It's interesting. Listening to Mark Rosewater's podcast, he was talking about doing Planar Chaos, and that it was more than just even though this is Planar Chaos, this wouldn't have shown up in blue or something.
Yeah,
Like it was.
it had to still make sense, kind of.
Yeah, it was like there are certain rules for how the color ply is divided up that are in some ways arbitrary, and they're like, this is alternate universe where all the colors are still the same colors that they are, but which effects go into which color has been tweaked a little bit.
Yeah. So, for example, Wrath of God was called Damnation, and it was in black because black still destroys creatures.
Right.
Red does pump.
Yeah.
Just not the same way, right?
Yeah.
Mana Tithe was Force Spike in white.
Yep.
Because white still does like that's the word I'm looking for. Permissions.
Mhm.
Right. Or it's like stuff that was, secondary or tertiary in a color becomes primary in that color.
Yeah,
Which is
so
quite
I
interesting.
think it's neat.
All right.
Dinosaur. It's the Imperial Sword.
Dinosaurs. I forgot there were dinosaurs.
I have opened 3 packs of Modern Masters for myself, and I've had an Imperial Sword in each one.
I think it's trying to tell you to make a dinosaur deck.
Apparently.
Go home, dinosaurs.
So it
Get
is-
outta here.
It is 2 green for a 5/5, which just crushes the vanilla test, but you can only spend mana produced by basic lands to cast Imperial Sword.
That seems still okay.
It in limited,
Yeah.
still seems sick.
Seems fine.
Ridiculously awesome.
It seems pretty okay. How are you going to deal with a 5/5?
Yeah.
Ironically,
on turn 4.
Ironically, that's really bad in
Modern.
the current standard,
Oh,
like
it's
in
terrible.
Gatecrash, it's terrible.
Oh yeah. But I mean, like, if you can ramp into this on turn 3,
Oh my god.
like that's insane.
Well, except I mean, if you can put down extra lands, like you have like something that'll fetch you land, that's fine. But you can't use like
you
an
can't.
arbor elf.
Yeah, that's true. But
What was this originally printed in?
It was originally
Oh, it was a
Future
Future
Sight.
Sight card with the fancy Future Sight border.
I like that border.
I think it's neat.
People hate on that border a lot, and it's definitely not what I would want all the time. But I look at Tarmogoyf, and I don't like the new Tarmogoyf because I'm just so used to
Really?
cool bordered Tarmogoyf.
But
The art's still kind of wonky, but
The art on the new Tarmogoyf is awesome.
It's pretty
and
good.
the art on the old Tarmogoyf is incomprehensible.
I still like it though.
I don't know.
why.
I don't know where it is or
I
what
don't
it
know
is.
it just looks like a green blob
a
of
goyf.
teeth.
again.
Yeah, that's
Mark Rosewater was saying that this was actually a concept when they changed the card frames. This was a concept for what they were going to change the card frames
This looks
to.
like a Pokemon card.
Why don't you just marry Mark Rosewater?
Yeah.
The-
Well, it's just been very interesting to hear all this stuff.
I like where the mana cost is because when you fan your hand out,
Yeah.
assuming you're right-handed, I don't know if it makes a difference if you're left-handed, but when you fan your hand out, then you can see all the mana costs on the left-hand side of the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like
Although
that.
it looks like they only have like 5 spots for mana.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how
Yeah.
you would cast
Like Progenitus or something.
Progenitus with a Future Sight bordered card.
Got a dredge card here.
Dredge.
Stinkweed Imp.
This card's good.
Everyone loves Stinkweed Imp. It is a 1/2.
Except for people who hang out around him.
Yeah, that's true. It's a 1/2 flyer for 2 and a black. And whenever Stinkweed Imp deals combat damage to a creature, destroy that creature, which is again different from Death Touch. We talked about this in the
Right.
this
does not go on the stack.
Highlander podcast. Yes, and Serge actually contacted me afterwards to say that he thought of some better examples for that, which is like a situation of like if you have a thing that triggers like when creatures die or something. This does not happen as part of combat damage resolution. This is this is a triggered ability that goes on the stack after that and can be responded to. Whereas Death Touch is just like did damage happen? Okay, that guy's dead now.
Right.
Whereas this is actually a thing, and it has Dredge 5.
Also, this is combat damage, whereas Death Touch is usually.
That's
any
true.
damage. Yeah.
Dredge, of course, meaning if you would draw a card, meaning usually at the beginning of your turn. Instead, you may put exactly 5 cards from the top of your library into your graveyard, and if you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand.
And looks like he was originally from original Ravnica.
Yes, I'm a fan of the
Oh.
new, I think it's the Dual Decks artwork, but
Wow.
I like the new Stinkweed Imp.
I like that artwork a lot.
The old artwork is sweet though, with the 2 color, like the
Yeah.
sort of
It is cool
color
too.
behind him.
Next up, Hanakami is a 1/1 for 1.
Not Hanukkah.
Nope. Hanakami. Hana means flowers, Kami means spirit. It is a flower spirit from Kamigawa block. So it's a 1/1 for 1. And for 1 and a green and sacrifice it, return target arcane card from your graveyard to your hand.
So this is one of the shifted rarities, eh? This was a uncommon.
Yeah.
It looks like, and is
But
now
it's a
been-
common now because it's less, because arcane was much more relevant in
Yeah.
Kamigawa block. There is a arcane sub-theme in Modern Masters, but it's not
It's
it's not relevant enough to keep this at uncommon.
Yeah.
Do any of the Splice into Arcane is Splice into Arcane in
Yeah.
Modern Masters?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
That's one that took me a while to figure
Ooh, this is a
out.
good card.
Ooh, yeah. This is a classic. Rift Bolt
Ooh.
is 3 damage to target creature or player for 2 and a red. And you're like, wait a minute, that's like Lightning Bolt, but it's 2 colorless more. And you're like, yes,
That doesn't sound good at all.
but I can suspend it for a turn for 1 red. So I can have a Lightning Bolt on layaway.
Nice.
So next upkeep, I'll get my Lightning Bolt for 1 red. Meaning you can suspend this on turn 1, and then on turn 2 you can bolt something.
Right.
So which I guess will usually just prevent them from playing a 2-drop.
Which isn't the worst.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
a
the worst.
pretty
And you can,
good tempo
they're
play.
like, oh, I guess I just dome you for 3. Oh well,
And you
I-
still don't have a creature.
I imagine that as like a bolt of lightning shoots down and then stops, and the person's like,
Yeah. It's just like, chill out.
What-
I'm still
"What
thinking.
happened?" Boom.
Speaking of the Rift, Rift Elemental is a 1/1 for 1 in red. For 1 in a red, and remove a time counter from a permanent you control or a suspended card you control. Rift Elemental gets +2/+0 until end of turn.
So he makes your suspend cards work better.
Yeah.
and
So
he gets bigger. Like that's super good.
so if you have this guy out and he can attack for the same price as just casting Rift Bolt, like for the same price, you can suspend Rift Bolt, pay this guy's ability to remove the counter from Rift Bolt. You get the Rift Bolt, and this guy gets +2/+0.
Seems good.
That seems fine.
Combo.
Combos. All right. We're on a search. A search for tomorrow. It's 2 and a green for a sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle your library, and it has suspend 2 for a green. And you see this a lot. Someone casting search for tomorrow on,
So this
on
is
turn 1.
not explore. This is
Rampant growth.
Rampant growth.
Kinda, except that it just goes onto the battlefield. It doesn't go in tapped.
Oh, that's true.
And
does this work with our dinosaur? It works with our dinosaur.
Yeah, I think so.
It works with our dinosaur.
So on turn
And it'll
on
come
turn
in
1
on turn 3, which is exactly when you want it for the dinosaur.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Combo. So many
Combo.
combos in this pack.
That was originally, as with all the suspend cards, that was originally from Time Spiral.
Also, you'll notice the color makeup of this pack so far, right?
yeah, is
Red green with a splash of black.
well, we have a splash of white now
Ah.
with Otherworldly Journey. It is an instant Arcane, as we mentioned. Arcane is a sub theme. 1 and white. Exile target creature. At the beginning of the next end step, return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. So this is cool.
That's solid. Yeah.
If you really need to get one of your opponent's guys out of the way to swing through for lethal, you can do that. But you probably want to do this on your own guy because it comes back stronger. So you can like block with your guy, blink it, and it comes back with a +1/+1 counter.
Yep.
Or if you have any like ETB effects, you can blink it and the thing comes back stronger anyway. Seems pretty all right.
Pretty all right.
And the art is awesome.
yeah, the art's very
Going
good.
on an otherworldly journey.
Now, Arcane, unless you actually have something that mentions Arcane or something with splice into Arcane or something, Arcane doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So Arcane, like this by itself, it's just it's
just
an
an
Arcane
instant.
instant.
Yeah.
But if you have a different instant that has splice into Arcane, then you can do the splice thing at that time.
And if you use your otherworldly journey to a great effect and you want to use it again, you can sacrifice your Hanakami. to get it back.
Combo.
Oh my god, this pack is so
And,
good.
This is another one that went from uncommon to common, actually. This was uncommon.
Uncommon to common.
That's what
Oh,
it
I'm
said.
sorry.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
misheard
It
you.
went uncommon. It was uncommon in Champions of Kamigawa and in the dual deck,
And now it's a
and
common.
now it's a common.
Yeah. I believe this is another rarity change. Absorb Viz or Vis. Absorb Viz. Absorb Viz.
It is not.
No.
Already
All right.
always been a common.
All right. Well, anyway, it is 6 and a black for a sorcery. Target player loses 4 life, and you gain 4 life,
Sure.
which is a little
So it's-
expensive for 7, but
It's
all right.
double Sorn's Thirst.
It's a drain. Yeah, I guess.
It's the kind of thing you might cast late in the game if you really needed to.
Well, that's why it has this other thing.
Basic land cycling. Except this is target player only, so Sorn's Thirst also I think only hits creatures. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, basic land cycling for 1 and a black, meaning for 1 and a black, you discard it, search your library for basic land, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So
Sure.
So that's rampant black.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you draw it. Well, it's not ramp because it goes into your hand, but
Well,
it
still.
can help you find things. It's late game. You can cast it for 7 to drain for an 8-point life swing, or early in the game you can just discard it to get land. So
Which is like a very rare ability in
Yeah.
black that you can fish for land.
cycling is another.
Originally from Conflux.
Yeah, cycling is another sort of sub theme of mechanic that shows up in Modern
Probably
Masters.
one of my favorite mechanics, actually.
All right.
Yeah,
Mo-
it's just that so cards aren't dead. It's nice.
Moth Dust Changeling. It is a 1/1 shapeshifter for a blue. And because it's a shapeshifter, it has the changeling keyword, which means this card is every creature type at all times. Yes,
Boom.
even brushwag, even even wombat, even jellyfish.
It's nice to know that Brushwag has a friend,
Yeah.
even if that friend's a lie.
And the ability is tap an untapped creature you control. Moth Dust Changeling gains flying until end of turn. Sure. It's a little weird.
And like with the various other cards that have the tap and untap creature, you can tap an untapped creature that came into play this turn.
Mm-hmm.
Summoning Sickness, because it's actually an ability of the changeling, not of the creature.
Yeah, that was something that we took us a little while to figure that one out when we first started playing. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
The Architect was the big one that did that. It wasn't the
Oh, the Vidalcan guy from Scars.
from Scars. That was
Just a Grand Architect.
Grand Architect.
yeah.
Yeah, he was such a pain in the butt
Because
for that.
you can't tap a creature for anything that it does the turn it comes into play.
But
But you
other
can-
creatures can tap them.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's being tapped as an effect of this ability.
Yeah.
which is that's important.
And
to
he
know.
was originally from Morningtide
yeah.
because he's one of the happy elves, one of the
Alright.
happy fairies, I should say.
All right. Ooh, I love this guy. Flicker Wisp. Always creepy art, but super cool art. It is 3 and it is
The downfall.
1 white for a 3/1.
Oh wow, that is creepy art.
Yeah. For a 3/1 flyer. When Flicker Wisp enters the battlefield, exile another target permanent. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step.
Oh my god, such freaking value.
So once again, you can blink your opponent's guy to get in for a turn. You can blink one of your guys that has some sort of enter the battlefield effect.
It's interesting. That's almost a like a card from Avacyn or something. Like that sort of flickering ability. In some ways, seems like a very recent thing. It's something that they put emphasis on really recently.
Yeah.
But it's cool that there's old cards that also have it.
So here's a fun thing.
From Eventide, by the way.
Flicker your Flicker Wisp with otherworldly journey,
Yep.
and it comes into play at the beginning of the next end step. So I'm saying you do this on your turn, right?
Okay.
So like you block with Flicker Wisp, and then you flicker it with Otherworldly Journey. It comes back, and it's then a 4/2. It re-enters at the beginning of your end step.
Yep.
Flicker one of your opponent's creatures.
Yep.
They won't get it back until the beginning of their end step.
Right.
So
Yarr.
they are without it for an entire turn.
Then use your Hanakami to do it again.
Masked Admirers. If I recall, this was a drop from rare to uncommon, I think. It's a 3/2 Elf Shaman for 2 green. When Masked Admirers enters the battlefield, draw a card. Ooh,
You're correct.
card draw in green. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay green. If you do, return Masked Admirers from your graveyard to your hand.
That seems pretty good.
Well, these guys are great.
That's like
These guys are really
and that's
good.
like a black ability almost. The
Yeah, what's up with these guys? They have
Yeah.
like a blue ability and a black ability.
Yeah, that's really
There
good.
are a couple of green cards that let you draw cards.
Oh, there are, yeah. And there's a couple of green cards that let you interact with the graveyard. I mean, like, green uses like
regrowth? And
yeah,
stuff.
regrowth, and more recently Wildwood Rebirth and Eternal Witness, for example.
It's basically. I feel like green can basically get away with doing anything as long as it gets tied back to creatures.
Yeah.
If it's like counter target spell when you play a creature, then it's like okay, it's fine. It's a green.
Well, that might be a bit of a stretch.
All right.
This is a
Next.
card I remember from when we first started playing. Esperzoa.
Yeah.
This guy was irritating.
Yes.
It is a 4/3
Right above it. Or right
flying jellyfish.
below it. Up 2. Up one more.
4/3 flying jellyfish for 2 and a blue.
Seems good.
And but the downside is like that's astonishingly good.
Yeah.
The downside is that at the beginning of your upkeep, return an artifact you control to its owner's hand.
And Esperzoa itself is an artifact. So
Yeah. This is
if
one of
you-
the
So it'll return itself.
this
Excuse me.
is one of the colored artifacts from the Alara block.
Yeah.
Why does Magic persist in making flying jellyfish?
I don't know.
Because they look cool.
But it's
Yeah.
just like, why is flying a thing that even is considered to be something
Because
referencing
magic,
jellyfish?
Paul. It's called magic.
But if you can make
It's right there in
anything
the
fly,
name.
then anything
Magic.
can fly. Why
Stop it.
something that is known for not flying?
All right, we need to move on.
All right. I am excited for this rare. This is Maelstrom Pulse. I'm really pleased with this because I love the new art on Maelstrom Pulse. I believe it was originally printed on a Judge foil, but it's the first time I've had access to it. It's super cool. Maelstrom Pulse, also from Alara block, is 1 black-green, so the same price as Putrefy. But for this one, you destroy target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent.
Dear God.
Oh yeah, the old art is just like
It's just like a pulse
Sunset.
thing. Yeah, sunset. But this one, like the new art, you can see. Hopefully, you can see it on the thing. There's an impact point, and then there's an electrical shockwave going out.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you die, and then
everybody who has the same name.
Yeah. Which,
So I mean, this particularly actually in the current in standard,
this
be
would
great
be
against
nuts.
Selesnya or something.
Yeah,
right?
obviously none of these cards. I don't think any card in Modern Masters is legal in Standard.
I don't know.
I don't think so, because even Terramorphic Expanse isn't anymore. 'Cause we have Evolving Wilds.
I don't think
But
so.
Yeah,
I
I don't think they would have.
if it were, yeah, because you could be like, I kill bird, and then all the bird
Birds
tokens
die,
go away,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
There's a lot of good uses for this card. Like that's a blowout against like a lot of like specific commander decks and stuff like that.
And even if like
token decks.
like obviously Highlander, you're never ever gonna hit any other permanents.
yeah,
But still,
It's still destroy target permanent for 3.
Well, because the thing is, it's target non-land permanent, so it hits planeswalkers
Yep.
and artifacts and enchantments, and like that's just good value.
it's just very
like
flexible.
even with the other, without the other side, it's still like a better Doomblade,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, no, it's super good.
All right, so you
And-
might be thinking that that's the end of the pack.
because that's the rare.
Because that's a rare, but that's not how Modern Masters works.
Because every pack of Modern Masters has a premium foil card,
Oh my god.
and this one is big money, big money, big money. Not big money, but neat looking. This is an avian changeling.
Ooh.
So it's another shapeshifter with the changeling ability. So it is all creature
Or
types
it's a bird changeling.
at all times. Yeah, well, it's meant to look like a bird. Yeah, he's got a little pot belly and a bird wings. So he's a 2/2 for 2 and a white with flying. He's a 2/2 flying. Now, so 2/2 flying for 3 is fine in limited. But the reason that this is better than that is because of the changeling ability. There is a sub-theme. There's a couple sub-themes of goblins and giants.
Yeah.
There's a couple tribal sub-themes.
Right, so
in
now-
this format.
So now you suddenly have a flying goblin, which is really hard to normally get. Like normally, in order to get a flying goblin, you need the Balloon Brigade, which
Or-
is
Equipment or spells.
yeah. So it's the changelings in any kind of tribal deck are very interesting.
Okay, so that was the pack.
Yeah.
Yay, that was Modern Masters.
I will happily first pick Maelstrom Pulse.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
I was wondering about what my first pick would be, but I think
I'm probably gonna take the dinosaur and hope to wheel the rampy thing.
Yeah, I mean going into two. I mean
and
the,
combo off.
the Maelstrom Pulse puts you in 2 colors right away, which is
true.
a little bit tricky.
They're
but-
fine. They're fine colors, but
they're
yeah.
good colors. All right,
What's
so
the
I'm just-
token?
Token is a green and black worm from the card Worm Harvest.
Cool.
Okay. So if the Maelstrom Pulse is gone and the dinosaur is gone, I'm definitely gonna be taking.
I wouldn't
the
actually take the.
the Masked Admirers.
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
my
yeah.
pick
Yeah,
because
that's
I
probably-
love drawing cards.
Yeah, no, that's
Flicker
probably,
Wisp is also
Flicker
really
Wisp is
strong.
also very good.
It's also
If-
good.
Yeah, if the Masked Admirers are not there, I would then take the Flicker Wisp.
This
and then
pack
if that
is
wasn't
gross.
there,
It
I
makes
would
me so
take
happy.
the Otherworldly Journey.
All right, so that was our Cracker Pack.
That was cool.
We don't really have a topic today, so we decided to do some Q&A. And if you're wondering, well, I had some Qs, why can't I ask them? Then you should be following us on Twitter. If you follow at LRRMTG, and keep an eye out Friday mornings, generally is probably a good time. Same with at Loadingreadyrun.
Or afternoons if you're in the east.
Yeah, or in the afternoons.
That Twitter account will also let you know when streams are happening and stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
It's the. I mean,
That's the main purpose.
for
of it,
things
really.
for things like Friday nights, we will obviously
Can you
tweet
put up
about
the
that
Twitter
from our
handle on the overlay.
maybe. So it'll probably come up on the screen like real big and say "Hello World," and then you have to change it.
Anyways.
for
At LRRMTG.
yeah, for videos and things, obviously I'll usually mention it on my account and the Loading Ready Run account, like for episodes of Friday nights. But for
Hello world.
for all things Magic related, that's the one to follow. We talk about Tap Tap Concede there. We talk about our drafts and our MTG Academy videos, and if we have any just things we want to talk about Magic wise.
MTG, just like that.
Underscore?
Nope.
No.
This is why we put it up. Not even Paul knows it.
Then you got to hit enter,
Right.
and then it's still going to be huge in the middle of the screen.
Oh, well, that works. There
So-
is our Twitter account.
There's the Loading Ready Run Magic Twitter account.
All right.
We-
And now
Yay.
we'll ask some questions, or
All right.
we'll get some questions from them.
Lay it on me, James.
All right. First question comes from Steven, who would like to know, and I like this because he compares this to Kenji. How can people like Kenji
How are you so
or
much
you
worse than
guys
Kenji?
afford to keep playing drafts repeatedly? Is it all down to winning packs and money rares? So for Kenji, kind of, yeah.
Kind of.
He's,
I believe-
he's kind of good at the game
He's good.
and
Yeah.
will win a lot.
Unlimited resources. He was actually saying that he is infinite at this point.
Yeah. Well, I
To a
mean,
degree, yeah.
even he considers. I was just watching him yesterday talk about it. Even he considers going infinite kind of a fallacy when you're talking about Magic Online. He considers it a very, very slow decline
Yeah, exactly.
with jumps.
Yep.
But yeah, he hasn't actually put money into it in some time, and that comes down to, like, for him at least, it comes down to, smart play, winning, and taking value cards over cards that maybe are better for your deck because it's not day 2 of a GP. Right?
Exactly.
You're just like, well, like I was watching him yesterday, and he was in Golgari colors going into the RTR pack, and he opened an Angel of Serenity, which is white.
I was watching the same.
So he's like, well,
I got to take that because it's worth 16 tickets.
Yeah, there we go.
It was the same with me last night. I was drafting and got into the RTR pack and opened Sphinx's Revelation.
Oh,
and
man, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that thing's like 40 tickets?
Well, you'll be happy to know that it was on the lure account then.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, it's with that kind of stuff, like, you don't want to be just like have like the price list open on the other screen and be looking at all this stuff. But if like the top, 10 cards or so that you really need to be looking for.
Yeah. It's tricky to strike that balance between like I think the Shocklands are a good point. Like some of the Shocklands are only worth like
they're worth a couple tickets.
3 tickets, right?
Yep.
So like is it better to take that or a card that you really need for your deck
if it's a
to
card,
try and win?
In my opinion, if it's a card you really need, if it's a card that fits your deck perfectly, take that card.
I think especially if you're doing an 8/4. I think if you're in a Swiss, there's less on the line.
Yeah,
there's
that's fair.
less risk there.
Yeah.
And so you can take the rare probably.
Like if I run into a rare that can pay for another draft, I'm taking that rare.
Yeah.
If I run to a rare that's 5, 6, 7 tickets, but there's a card in that pack that could make my deck really good, as you said, in an 8/4, I'm taking the card that makes my deck very good.
And there's nothing like, you've got like 30 seconds usually for a pick. There's nothing wrong with popping over to the classified scene on Magic Online and seeing what the card's going for. Little pro tip, a lot of mythics don't go for very much. Like there's obviously some that go for a huge amount, but a lot of mythics are just sort of like, like Lord of the Void, for example, is like
nothing.
Is like maybe a ticket. Any foil mythic, doesn't matter what the card is. If it is foil, it will go for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because people need them to put together their foil sets for set redemptions. So like even Lord of the Void is like 10 tickets for a foil mythic,
version,
and it's like maybe less than 1.
Yep.
So for us though, we get tickets for doing the MTG Academy videos.
That helps.
Yeah.
That which is the biggest thing that helps us able to keep just sort of spewing off.
We
on
also
drafts.
we are definitely not going infinite.
We also don't draft anywhere near as often as those guys. I mean, for this website, we're supposed to draft 6 times a month. 2 for the Academy videos and 4 times once a week for Card Kingdom.
Yeah. Well,
so it's not.
We'll often do it 1 or 2 more than that, but
yeah. But then there's also our personal streaming or our personal play as well. So
the actually Limited Resources had a really good an entire episode on not going infinite, but basically how to
managing your MTG bankroll.
Managing your bankroll.
Yep. That was a really smart episode.
So that if you go through the Limited Resources archives, it's got some more detail on that.
That's where they explain why you should do Swiss or 8/4s and not 4/3/2/2s.
Yeah.
True story. Okay. Logan would like to know if purple were a mana color, what spells would you cast with it?
You can probably take the Twitter account down now.
Oh, we are reading from this Twitter account right now.
It's true. It's just big and weird. That's a good question. What what would be in purple's color pie? You mean?
I guess. Yeah.
So I saw something a while ago that was like gravity. It's like gravity related effects.
Gravity related effects.
So there'd be stuff with manipulating, being flying creatures not flying.
And like debuffing creatures and stuff like that, so they have no power, but they still have the same amount.
Yeah.
What would the basic
like that?
What would the basic land be?
I don't know. See, the problem is Magic is pretty well thought out.
I mean, it's like if there was a purple, it could be given it. Like right now, the only reason why there doesn't seem to be a space for purple is because, everything has been sort of spread out among the colors.
So it would have to have elements from.
Maybe they go to outer space.
Yeah.
And now it's just
an
like
asteroid.
Asteroid.
Or like spatial anomalies or nebulas or whatever. Ooh, nebulas could work.
Future
actually.
Magic would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Let's see, purple. What would purple be? I mean, red doesn't necessarily make me think of mountains, but
no, it really doesn't.
I'm trying to think what like a purple thing would be, because there's stuff other than swamps, islands, plains, forests, and mountains.
And the problem is a lot of the other things have been taken up by multi-lands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, ignore,
But
we're
like,
forging a new path here. So
yeah, like a meadow or something.
No, that's plains.
Yeah, I think like a meadow's too close to a plains. Like it needs to be something sort of like,
Or actually like a cloud or something.
Yeah, like the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, clouds would totally do it.
Yeah.
Why
And
not?
that would allow the whole I like the kind of gravity, like manipulating and screwing with other creatures and stuff on the battlefield. And
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely taking a chunk of the blue pie, but
yeah,
It's purple. It's close.
It's also
Yeah.
taking a bit of the black pie, but that's fine.
I could see if we're looking at like mixing that color, I could see like some blue and some red and maybe a little bit of black in there.
yeah.
That
All
could
right.
be cool.
All right. What is everyone's favorite tokens?
Blue black fairy rogue.
The M13 goat token is so badass. He's awesome. He's super cool looking.
Spirit tokens. The original
Like
one from
the wispy guy.
Yeah,
Like the sort of
from-
like the cloud wisp thing from Lore and
yeah,
Shadowmoor.
that's easily the best.
Actually the wood kami, like the wood.
Oh, yeah, that one.
the wood spirit token from Kamigawa.
also awesome.
So cool looking.
Non-official token, Inkwell Looter's snake token.
Yes.
or the not unofficial token, the Card Kingdom Goblin on a bike.
Ooh, that one's also
On the
good.
penny
yeah,
farthing.
they have a couple
the Goblin
really
on the
good
penny
ones, too.
farthing, and I like Inkwell Looter's human soldier and knight.
Yes, the
Triptych.
Yeah, that one's so good.
That's good.
What we're saying is go check out Inkwell Looter.
Mm-hmm.
What commander decks do each of you play? We've answered this before, but we'll do it again. Graham.
Green black tree folk, Orzhov tokens, red discard wacky Madoodle, and Selesnya Elfie token punch you in the face and gain life.
I just have one, and it's the snake tribal. I need to make a new
Snake, it's a
one.
snake.
I very much plan to.
Is that
Kathleen?
that should be the name of it.
I
the
have
snake is the snake.
a blue black fairy mill deck. I have what I call the starter commander deck, which is typically the one I lend out to people when they're inviting them over to play commander for the first time, which is just mono black vampire tribal. Very straightforward. And I just built it, which is red black Slithpires. Which because everything has got like the slith ability and stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I still need, like, I'm not super happy with it. I still need to tinker with it a bit.
It's scary though. It's good.
All right.
I like it.
What is everyone's favorite creature subtype? I don't actually know.
Brushwag.
Maybe we should just go with that and move on.
That
Yeah.
one card is
All right.
awesome. Yeah, I think so.
Brushwag. Other than Marshall and Kenji, who is a good person to follow?
Actually, they got big on the everyone found the homerids.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's because Maya loves lobsters.
Yeah. So the homerids are pretty funny.
Humrids are hilarious.
So other than Marshall and Kenji, who are good people to follow and learn to improve your game?
I can think of two other people that I make a big... Well, okay, no. There's three other people that I make a big point to watch their content.
Let me see if I can guess.
Okay.
LSV.
LSV is the one that I remembered, and the only reason is that he doesn't update as frequently as he used to.
No.
So, yes,
But
definitely,
he did just put out a video.
He did.
It was
Definitely LSV's videos, like his draft videos on...
Let me see if I can get the second one.
on
It's the third one that I'm curious about.
Okay, on Channel Fireball are excellent. He's just, even when he's losing, he's having such a fun time
Yeah,
playing
he's
that
very good.
it's impossible not to love his stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
Kathleen, what's your guess?
All right. I think that the third one is going to be the one that James doesn't know, so I'm going to go with the easy one, which is the second one, which is Simon Gertzen.
Simon Gertzen.
Yeah, see, that's the other one I knew.
Yes,
now I'm
on-
just trying to figure out what the third one is.
So his videos, Simon
Oh.
says, on MTG Academy are amazing because he does not draft like anyone else I watch. Like the reasoning for his picks, which he's very good to walk you through, is just very different. Yet he ends up with these great decks that win. Like he's
Yep.
really good. I think he's won a Pro Tour. I think
he has, yes.
he's certainly top 8'd one.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure he's won a Pro Tour at least, and he's on the European coverage team. In fact, I think he's broadcasting today. GP.
Yeah, for what? I can't remember which GP
I
it
can't
is.
remember where. It's one of the European GPs.
Well, it'll be tomorrow, but...
And speaking of that,
Well, they started.
Oh, I
They
guess,
started
yeah, 'cause
late
it's-
last
yeah,
night.
Yeah, yeah,
and
I guess
anyway,
that's
the
true.
point is, Yeah.
And he's got a like.
His videos are great, and he has a great voice.
I was going to say he's got a phenomenal voice, and he's got an amazingly pleasant to listen to accent. Like you
Yes.
feel like you're getting smarter, just
Yeah.
because he's
And-
got such a
and he-
wonderful German accent.
Pronounces certain cards in a funny way.
Oh, I love that. when he was doing Innistrad block, he was talking about the Butch's cleaver, and I just love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The Butcher Ghoul.
All right, third one I think I got is Soulbush.
Soulbush 1, yes.
Yeah.
Josh Frankel from draftmagic.com. Part of the Denial esports team, apparently. Their only Magic player. He's Soulbush 1. That's Soul, S-O-L-E, like the sole of your shoe, Bush 1 on Twitch TV. And he drafts every day,
Yeah,
basically.
he drafts a lot.
And usually like late at night, which is crazy because he's in the East. Like he lives in Montreal.
Yeah.
And so he's drafting until like 5 a.m. And he'll be like, if he like scrubs out of a draft around like 4:30 his time, the people will be like, one more, and he's like, no, I can't. I have to I have to go to bed now.
And it's just like, it's
and
7:30.
they're like, why? He's like, well, because if I start another draft now and it goes well, then I'll still be here when my wife wakes up, and she doesn't mind me drafting super late, but she doesn't like it when I'm still drafting when she gets up to go to work.
That's
Obviously,
fair.
he like works at a different schedule.
I
than
don't
she
think he
does.
works right now.
No, he does. He's a math tutor.
Yeah, but I know he was actually looking like for a full-time job a couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
I know he's a math tutor because that's how he makes his money, but
Yeah.
he was actually looking for a
But
job.
He's really good again, and his stream is great, and it's the same reason I like watching Kenji's stream, because he's entertaining to watch. He's a good player, and so he does well, and he's good about explaining what he does and why, and he's not like a jerk to the chat or anything.
And he has a
Like,
dog that makes noises in the background.
Sometimes his dog makes weird snuffly noises because his dog's a puggle like Buster.
Oh yeah,
And he has weird snorty things. Occasionally he'll just be like,
Yeah.
it's like, what's wrong with your dog? He's like, no, he's just dumb.
just a dog.
He's just a dog.
All right. What is in the Simics law? Lots of things. We've
All
gone
kinds
over
of
that.
things.
Yeah, lots of things. A couple of squid.
An
I believe-
With
extremely
tentacles.
I believe we did shoot some behind the scenes. For
We
that,
did. Yep.
So.
Yeah.
disgusting trip to the salad bar.
Yeah.
I was thinking that we maybe should have been like just one other time when they mention it, have another like little shot of the top down of what the Simics law looks like.
The it didn't smell good.
No,
No.
But that wasn't
it wasn't the squid.
it wasn't the tentacle,
No.
because the tentacles were like they were from Frozen.
Yeah,
but
they were-
they didn't smell
No,
like
they
much.
didn't smell much.
It was whatever was
It,
in it. Yeah,
it was mostly just I think it was just the mayo.
lots
that
of
was,
things.
Lots of things. Anyways,
Also, leaving it in
James's
Yeah,
car.
in
in
the
James's car
car
for like 4 hours probably didn't
Probably
help
not the best
anything.
Oh,
idea.
God. When we were done that, I was like, that is going straight to the garbage.
Yep.
That is
It
not
didn't-
staying in the house another
it-
second.
It didn't stop a couple people from trying croutons.
yeah,
Really?
Mostly
People tried the
beige.
yeah,
croutons?
mostly
Yeah.
beige.
It didn't. He didn't go. It didn't go too well.
He was fine.
You tried the burger.
He's still alive.
Yeah,
I
the
think.
burger was fine.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I haven't actually heard from him for a couple days,
No, I
so
haven't.
we'll find out. If you were to open a magic-themed bar, what would you name it?
Ooh, there's got to be some good ones.
Yeah, it really has to be.
Oh man.
Some stuff from
Tap, untap.
Ooh, tapping with oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Just like the tap house, but with a
Yeah.
With
the symbol. It's just like the
Tap.
tap symbol house.
yeah.
Something like the Kildoran Outpost or something, or like
That sounds like a Star Trek joke. It does.
something like Urza's Pub.
Yeah.
Looking for
Yeah, I
there's a
mean,
bar
like,
in the
there's
name?
what?
I was
Ooh, yeah.
Bar the door. Bar is a big.
Balduvan Bar.
Yeah.
Balduvan Bears. Grizzly bars. No,
Grizzly bars, yeah.
Grizzly bars.
Jeez. I think something involving the tap like
Well, because
the tap step.
The tap stuff.
well, no, I like tap, untap because there's taps of beer
Yeah.
and you're untapping our
Tap,
cards
untap.
there.
All right. Let's move on.
Taps on tap.
Man,
Yeah, there's so many good options. I can't even. I'm spoiled for choice. It's
what's your favorite goofy combo of all time? I don't really have. Can't.
Oh, I think the Flash Hulk combo is hilarious.
Oh, yeah, that one's awesome.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Have I talked about that on Tap Tap before?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll do it real quick. This is a Legacy combo, I think. A bunch of these cards are banned. You need a very specific opening hand to do this, but if you have the specific opening hand, here's what happens. You start with Gemstone Caverns in your opening hand, and you put it into play like on turn 0, basically, with a luck counter on it, meaning you can tap it for 1 mana of any color. During your upkeep, or their upkeep, it doesn't matter. This is a turn 0 win, essentially. You tap it for a blue, and you discard an Elvish or Simian Spirit Guide from your hand to get another colorless or whatever, and you flash a Protean Hulk into play. You can't pay for it properly. I don't recall the exact vagaries of this, so it dies immediately. When Protean Hulk dies, you can search your library for any number of creatures with a combined power no greater than Protean Hulk and put them into play. So what you do is you go and look for... Okay, so when Protean Hulk dies, search your library...
For any number of creature cards with total converted mana cost 6 or less, then put them
Right,
into play.
mana cost 6 or less. That's what it is. Thank you. So it's flash that you can't adequately pay for. That's why the Protean Hulk dies right away. So you go looking for 4 Disciple of the Vault, which is a 1 mana. They're a 1 mana black creature that whenever an artifact dies, you deal 1 damage to target creature or player. So you're looking for them. That's 4 of the 6 converted mana cost that you're allowed to look for Protean Hulk. And all the other creatures you look for are X cost artifact creatures that have 0 toughness because they come into play with X number of counters or whatever. So you bring the 4 disciples in, and then you bring all these X artifact creatures in that immediately die as a state-based action, and then all the disciples do damage to your opponent, and you just
It's so ridiculous.
kill them immediately.
That is pretty ridiculous.
So I find that hilarious because getting that to happen is basically like a statistical impossibility, and it's so funny.
I think that pretty thoroughly answers that question.
All right. Yeah. What's the best I like this one. What's the best name for a deck in the competitive scene that you've ever heard of?
I'm a big fan of the Aristocrats.
I am a big fan of the Aristocrats. There haven't been any really good names for a while.
I always liked the Cawblade, just because the progression of it goes like Drago and then Kago and then Cawblade.
Yeah.
I just like when the name ends up being something that makes no sense. Like it's like that doesn't have anything to do with the cards that are in the deck.
I was on the Card Advantage podcast earlier this week, or we recorded it earlier this week. I have no idea when the Card Advantage actually goes up. It's one of the ones on MTG Cast. And they asked about that in Friday nights, the first season, when it was Drago, Kago, Cawblade, and like
Blade, and then like Blade,
Caw.
Yeah.
And they were like,
and
what?
then just go.
Yeah. And they were like, what would Caw be? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess it's like Squadron Hawks and Apex Hawks and Suntail Hawks, I guess. And
Lots of hawks.
Just mono hawks. It doesn't seem very good, but it's there's a deck in there. There was another one recently. I guess it wasn't standard. I liked the second breakfast.
Second breakfast. Yeah.
Second breakfast was
I
good.
thought that was a really clever deck nickname because it was originally eggs, and then this was the new version of the eggs deck with Second Sunrise and Faith's Reward, and so because it had Second Sunrise, it was called Second Breakfast because Lord of the Rings. I thought that was clever.
Yeah.
A good deck name is tough.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Still, no deck name will ever beat Jer's janky red-blue deck, which was... I know I've talked about this before, but just for edification, Pyromancer's Ascension, which is when you cast an instant or sorcery, if there's already a copy of that instant or sorcery in your graveyard, you get a counter on Pyromancer's Ascension. When Pyromancer's Ascension has 2 counters on it, if you cast an instant or sorcery, you copy it.
Yeah.
So it was that with Call the Skybreaker, which creates a red and blue flying elemental token that looks like a fish. So if you cast it once, you get 2 of these things, and the name of the deck was 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
is so
That's
perfect.
how that works.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a room written name too. I think we all contributed to that one.
Are anybody doing Modern Master drafts at YJ? I'd like to do at least one. I don't know when. They're running them like for the next month. So I'm sure I will find time to do one. And then at least record one on MtGo. That will definitely happen.
Yeah. I don't know what is going to happen.
Whoa,
there.
it's a rules question. If you have a stuffy doll on the field with an opponent as a target, switch it with opponent's creatures, switcheroo. Does it assign a new target?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Unless
I'm going to look up the text on Stuffy Doll.
Unless it actually blinks out, I don't think
because I can't read the.
All right, while you do that, if Wati were to redeem themselves with a new Amara Tandris in a future Commander product, what would you want that card to be?
A new witch?
Like a new Selesnya Maze Runner?
Yeah.
I don't know, something better than Amara Tandris?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not hard to make her that much better. Don't make her so giant. And
make her what she was supposed to be.
Like if she was like a 3/3 for cheaper with the same ability, that'd be great.
Yeah,
like
that'd be fine.
if she was smaller power and toughness and cheaper as a result,
yeah,
then she'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess Jace likes big butts though.
So Stuffy Doll, no, because the text on Stuffy Doll is as Stuffy Doll enters the battlefield, choose a player. Stuffy Doll is indestructible. Whenever Stuffy Doll is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to the chosen player. So the controller of the Stuffy Doll has no bearing on who the chosen player is, and you only get to make that. Only the Stuffy Doll's controller gets to make that choice as Stuffy Doll enters the battlefield.
Yeah.
So if you mind control it or switcheroo or anything, that player choice will stay the same.
All right.
Yeah, but if you blink it, then
Yeah. I'm not a judge, but I feel pretty confident in making that call.
There's actually, we were talking about silly combos. There are a whole range of silly combos with Stuffy Doll.
Oh yeah.
Just various things with like Stuffy Doll doing 1 damage to itself. There's one where it's like does 1 damage to itself, and then that damage like redirects to you, and then you redirect it back to the Stuffy Doll like over and over again, or something weird like that.
Wow.
I don't know. There's lots
All right.
of dumb things.
So that was all for the questions. So thank you everybody who asked. That was awesome.
That's perfect.
And
we're about out of time.
I think we're definitely out of time, but that's fine. We haven't done. We skipped a week, sort of.
Yeah.
So I think we're good to go.
So yeah, and get in on that Modern Masters while you can. I'm sure it'll be going fast. So
Yep.
if I mean it is the sort of the pro level thing, so be prepared to be doing a lot of reading if you're drafting it. It's gonna take longer to do all the draft steps because everyone's gonna be like, what the hell does this card do?
Yeah, it kind of relies on having one person who's willing to bankroll it. But the way that we're going to be doing Modern Master drafts here at the office is James and I are each buying a box, and so our plan is, for example, my box. We're going to do a draft with my box. It's going to be free to enter, but I keep all the cards.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to charge out all of our friends for the ridiculous prices that a Modern Master draft would have to be.
And then you don't have to rare draft with your friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I mean, so the other thing is that, if you can get your hands on a box of Modern Masters, it's probably worth it.
Yeah.
If you have any kind of reasonable magic store in your area, there's the EV on a box of Modern Masters is quite good.
Even with most stores selling them at much higher than
Yeah.
suggested retail price.
Yeah.
But if you can get one for, $250 or something,
You'll
should probably do that.
it's
You'll
still
make
probably
money
worth
back.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
All right. Thank you for listening to this week's Tap Tap Concede. Check us out again on Twitter at LRRMTG. Check out Friday nights on dailymtg.com and the Wizards YouTube channel. Of course, all this is linked from loadingreadyrun.com as well, but good to put that out there.
Yep.
And thank you for watching.
Yay!
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.